Hello, welcome to this instalment of A Taste of Warwickshire's Past. I'm Jo, one of the archive assistants at the County Record Office. You may recognise me from the Tales from the Collections videos. Yes, it was my ancestor that stole goldfish. But for this video, I shall be recreating a recipe from our collections. Now, the recipe I've been given is called Shakespeare Pudding. This recipe comes from the same recipe book that my colleague Rob used for his Swiss toffee recipe, which I think may have already gone out on YouTube. So it comes from the recipe book of M. Keeling, who lived near Fetherston, Warwickshire. This recipe book dates from 1914 to 1919, so basically around the time of the First World War. So let's have a go at transcribing the recipe. Okay, so we've got, so it says boil 2 tablespoonfuls of tapioca in a pint of milk till quite soft. Then add a little sugar and 1 or 2 eggs, a small piece of butter, and nearly a wine glass of sherry. Okay, that sounds like quite a lot of liquid for not a lot of tapioca. But then again, my idea of a wine glass is probably very different to theirs. Then pour it into a dish which has jam in the bottom and bake for 1 hour. Okay, that doesn't sound too bad. So I need tapioca, milk, sugar, eggs, sherry and jam. Okay, so I've got some of those already, but I better go shopping for the rest, so I'll go and get those and attempt the recipe. Wish me luck. Okay, so I've got all my ingredients assembled here. The recipe starts off quite specific, asking for 2 tablespoonfuls of tapioca and a pint of milk, but then it gets a bit vague with the quantities of the other ingredients. So whilst I was waiting for the tapioca to be delivered, because I couldn't get that in the shops by me anywhere at the moment due to COVID, I've had to order it online. I've been doing some research and I found a contemporary recipe for a baked tapioca pudding using roughly the same amount of tapioca and eggs. So I've decided to steal that recipe and use the quantities from that. So I've got the 2 tablespoonfuls of tapioca, which is about 30 grams. I've got 45 grams of just your bog standard caster sugar. I've got 25 grams of unsalted butter. And then the recipe says 1 or 2 eggs, but I've decided to go for 2 because they're not very big. We've got nearly a wine glass full of sherry. Again, this was a bit of a difficult one. I decided that the wine glasses back then would have been a lot smaller than they are now. And I'm guessing it's probably more going to be just for flavour, and I didn't want to add too much liquid. So I've got this small wine glass here with about 50 ml of sherry in it. I've got pints of milk. I decided to go for whole milk because I figured that's probably going to produce the best effect for this pudding. And I've got some jam. I don't think it really matters what type of jam you use, so we've just gone for the bog standard strawberry jam. Yeah, we get reduced sugar because we have a diabetic in the house and we don't really want him to accidentally eat full sugar jam. Okay, so let's get cooking and see what happens. So the first thing the recipe asks us to do is to boil the 2 tablespoons of tapioca in a pint of milk until it's quite soft. So I've got the pan on the heat ready. I'm going to add the milk in first. The pan's probably already quite hot, so this is probably going to sizzle. So that's the milk. And then in with the tapioca. Okay, so I've got the milk and the tapioca in the pan now. I'm just waiting for them to boil and for the tapioca to soften. This could take a while. You're probably not going to want to sit here and watch me stir in a pan. for the next few minutes or so. So I'll be back to you in a minute when it's boiled. Okay, so this has been bubbling away for a few minutes now. The tapioca's softened up, so I'm going to take it off the heat and then add the sugar, which is the next step. And I'll give that a quick stir. It seems a lot of sugar, but follow the recipe as it says. Okay, so I'm ready to add the egg now. I'm going to be adding this very slowly because I don't want it to cook in the pan. We want it to cook in the oven, so this is going to hopefully go. I hope this doesn't go badly wrong. So if you missed me adding the last little bit of egg in there, I need to sack my cameraman.
Sorry!
Okay, so that's all in there now, and thankfully it hasn't separated or cooked the egg. Phew. Okay, so the next thing to do is to add the butter. So this could take a while. Although it's been out of the fridge a while, it could take a bit of time to melt into the mixture, so bear with me. And I'll come back to you in a sec when it's all melted. Right, so the butter's all melted now, and the next stage is to add the sherry. So I'll just grab that and add that in now. So, like I said, this is about 50 ml of sherry. So I didn't want to add too much liquid to it, so in case it didn't set in the oven. Oh, that smells nice. Give that a quick stir. Oh, just a bit at the bottom of the glass. There we go. And then I'll get my oven dish. I've pre-greased this because I wasn't sure if you were supposed to or not, but I figured it's probably better to, because when it gets to the taste testing at the other end, it's going to make my life so much easier if I pre-grease the dish. And it says the dish needs to have some jam at the bottom. Again, it doesn't say how much jam, and I'm hoping I can open this on camera. So I'm just going to put a small amount in the bottom. Probably about a spoonful. Just leave it in the middle of the bottom because it will melt down in the oven anyway. So that's about a dessert spoonful. And then I'll just put the mixture on top. I'm scared. So now this is ready to go in the oven, and it needs to go in for an hour, it says, but again it doesn't say how long for. So I've just decided to bake it at about 170, which is what I normally use for baking bread and butter pudding using egg, which uses an egg custard base anyway. So let's see what happens. I'll be back with you in an hour, hopefully with edible pudding. Right, so I've taken it out of the oven. It's been in for the hour it specified in the recipe. The tapioca seems to have swelled up even more. It's a bit wobbly, a bit like jelly almost. Just hoping that it's okay. Right, now I need to just find a willing volunteer to taste test it with me. Right, so Rich, what do you think?
Let's have a look at it first. And get it on the screen. Alright. Very nice.
Would you say it's a bit more like an egg custard type thing, or?
Yes, a bit like egg custard, a bit like rice pudding, that type of thing. It's quite nice though.
That's good coming from you. Right, I suppose I better try it myself as well now. Okay, so I've just fed it to the parents as well, and they both liked it. They've cleared the plates, so must have been a hit. It's probably just me not liking tapioca. So have fun if you want to attempt doing it. Keep an eye out for more videos like this coming your way soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.